Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the Football Wizards. Today we are going to discuss probably the most tricky position in this year's Fantasy Premier League, strikers. Before we start, please don't forget to like and subscribe and also follow us on Twitter for the latest updates. These are the top 27 forwards from the 18-19 season arranged according to their total points. As it would be unfair to compare Aguero or Aubameyang with someone like Deulofeu or Wilson, let's categorize these players according to their price range. We have divided the forwards into 4 parts: premium, mid-priced, budget and enablers, and picked up the top point scoring players from each of these positions. Before moving on, let's decide how much budget should we allocate to our strikers. In previous years, almost all the FPL experts and enthusiasts agreed that 22 to 25 million is the optimum budget for strikers. This year, however, things are slightly different, with many managers going for players like Salah, Mane and Sterling who are effectively playing as forwards but are listed in midfield. Also, players listed as midfielders get one more point for scoring a goal than strikers. So if you are planning to own both Salah and Sterling, then the budget should be around 18 to 20 million. If you are planning on getting only one premium midfielder, then it can be between 22 to 24 million. Moving on to premium forwards. Looking at the stats of these 3 premium strikers, they have almost identical returns in all of the areas. Aguero has a slightly better points per game ratio than the other 2. In my opinion, if you own Salah but not Sterling, the order of preference should be Aguero, Kane, Aubameyang. Since both Aubameyang and Kane have a relatively similar start to the season, you can change their preference order to your liking. If you own Sterling but not Salah, then the order is Kane or Aubameyang at number 1 or 2 and Aguero at 3rd. If you want to own both Sterling and Salah, then I think you have no place in your team for a premium forward, as that will make your team very unbalanced in other positions. Moving on to mid-priced players, Jimenez was a great budget player last year, scoring 181 points with total 23 goal involvements. This year he has been priced at 7.5 million. Although the price is not too high, he had a late finish to the season due to international matches, so he might not be fully sharp at the start of the season. Just like Jimenez, Wilson was a very good budget forward last year who has been priced at 8 million this time around. Jamie Vardy is also a great pick, especially with his form improving after the arrival of Brendan Rodgers. He is priced at a very tempting price of 9 million. If Leicester had better fixtures at the start of the season, I would say that Vardy is a no-brainer. Alexander Lacazette, priced at 9.5 million, is a decent pick with 4.7 points per game last year, but we feel that there is better value in other strikers provided that Arsenal have a mixed start to the season. Marcus Rashford would have been a good buy this season had his value been in the 7 million price bracket. But with his price being 8.5, we feel that the FPL guys have slightly overpriced him. So our order of preference is Vardy, Wilson, Jimenez, Lacazette and Rashford. A case can be made for Wilson to take the top spot based on the fixtures at the start of the season. The budget strikers category is one which will be really popular this year due to many managers going for both Salah and Sterling. Here we compare the stats of top 6 budget forwards below 7 million. These stats might be a little skewed because Jota and Deulofeu were listed as midfielders last season. Among the budget forwards, Josh King and Troy Deeney are the 2 designated penalty takers from their teams, and a big chunk of their goals last year came from penalties. However, looking at points per game, there is not much to choose between all these budget strikers. Calvert-Lewin's stats do not reflect his late season form because in the first half of the season he barely played any games at all. Our order is King, mostly because he takes penalties and also because of good fixtures. Jota, Deulofeu, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Deeney and Murray. Based on the fixtures, we can change this order slightly. The last category is the budget enablers. We have selected a couple of 5 million players along with the cheapest 4.5 million enablers. Shane Long is the standout player among these because he played a lot of games last season. If you keep a close watch on pre-season, players like Mason Greenwood and Eddie Nketiah might also make a good impact this year. In this list, we have selected Lys Mousset as our number 1 because with his move to Sheffield United, he will get a lot more chances to start, and at 5 million he can prove to be a useful player to have. Second on the list is Shane Long, whose game time will be further reduced this season with Southampton signing Che Adams, but we still believe he will get a fair amount of games this season. After that comes the 4.5 million striker Mason Greenwood. He has had high praise from his manager and he might actually get some game time as well. Eddie Nketiah has had a very good pre-season as well, but with Aubameyang and Lacazette ahead of him, his playing time might be limited. Finally, we would like to discuss some of the players that we have not considered in this video. Although the Burnley strikers Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes had great stats at the tail end of the last season, we did not consider them owing to a very difficult start to the season. You can definitely consider one of them on your first wildcard. In this video, we have also not discussed about players like Teemu Pukki and Sharp because you can never be sure with the championship strikers and whether they will be able to replicate their last year's form. Of course, we have considered Liss Mousse of Sheffield United, but he was playing in the Premier League last year. We would also like to wait on new signings like Haller for West Ham and Che Adams for Southampton. The reason for this is you can never be sure about the impact that a new signing might make. I hope you enjoyed the Forwards edition of this video series. Please don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye bye.